United States. Katie was devastated to hear the news. She sent me this letter that she asked that I read to you today. Losing a loved one is everyone's worst nightmare, and I cannot put into words the grief that you all must be feeling today. Ryan was first introduced to our family in the fall of 2006, when my dad, Baba Ted, approached us about sponsoring a child at the project. We were assigned Brian and loved to receive updates on his growth and development, along with pictures he had drawn. When Brian learned to write and computers were introduced to the children at the project, this became much bigger than the money we sent every year for his support. We all of a sudden had a little boy in our lives. Who loved to share his life as much as he loved to learn about ours. Having our own children of similar ages, he loved to learn about their school, their sports, their friends, and how they spent their free time. Now my daughter's children are now 14, oldest daughter, 12, oldest and only son, and 10. So roughly the same age. No? He often asked about the weather and wanted to know about our rainy season, which had become quite funny to my daughter because they live in California, and they haven't had a serious rain there in 4 years. So if we think we have drought in Kenya, if you live in the state of California in the United States of America with no rain for 4 years, you know you're in a drought. Holidays were another thing that the kids and he often exchanged notes on. He loved the celebrations at the project and always gave us a detailed description that left us feeling like we'd been there. In the spring of 2013, Ryan wrote us about volunteering at the Kenyan Society for the Protection and Caring of Animals. He was so pleased to share with us that he'd chosen to work with the dogs. I first learned about Skippy yesterday, a dog that Brian nursed back to health, and as it turns out, who's also the father of the 2 dogs that Mama Hannah and I now have up in Nanuki. I didn't know that until yesterday.
Which also were rescued by him.
They were rescued, yeah, a family of 4 pups. We were able to save 2. Anyway, they're lovely dogs. He was so pleased to share us that he'd chosen to work with dogs, while Mercy had chosen the cats. He said he'd picked the dogs because he was feeling, and these are his own words, feeling sad for the ones that had been abandoned, misused badly, had 3 legs, and had diseases. That was all part of Brian's nature. He was a loving, caring individual. He cared for animals. He did want us to know, however, that the ones with disease had been treated and were doing well. As volunteers at our local dog rescue, our children loved to exchange stories with him, and they often had a good laugh. Just to let you know, my daughter Katie loves dogs. She's been rescuing abandoned dogs from a shelter for the past as long as I can remember. So when I go to her house in California, it's not surprising to see 6 dogs in her house waiting to be adopted. So she loves dogs. So they related on that level as well. Brian's love for dogs and my daughter's and her children's love for dogs. Another interest Brian shared with us was that he liked planting vegetables that could be eaten upon maturity, and that he'd planted a tree that was thriving in its environment. It must have been back at the old project, right?
Did he plant a tree?
Yeah.
Where is it? Did we leave it behind? Huh?
We left it behind. Maybe we should bring it here. Hopefully this tree is somewhere that you're aware of and can bring you strength when your feeling is lost, as it stands as a constant reminder of the incredible and proud young man Brian had become. This past summer, he told us about 15 children from England that had come to visit and was asking if we would do the same. He suggested that we come in July and go to the Masai Mara, as in his words, quote, wild beasts, unquote, from Kenya would be crossing the border to Tanzania. Visiting the project and Kenya is something our family is hoping to do sometime in the next few years. Our middle daughter, Victoria, is coming out in February, so they'll be coming to the project with her 3 children. We are so sad and sorry we never had the excitement and honor of meeting Brian in person. We can't dwell on the sadness or keep asking why. We will never find a reason why such a smart, cheerful, and beautiful child was taken. Instead, we will focus on how incredibly fortunate we were to have had such a beautiful relationship with Brian by email, and how lucky we are to have had him in our lives. We will miss seeing his smiling face in pictures. May he rest in eternal peace. Love always.